So you took this to be like as a straight drama? Mm-hmm. It didn't play like a comedy to you?
No, not at all. The camp would be completely lost on me. I see it now. No, I felt this was like melodrama, baby. It feels Twilighty to me. It's like, ooh, everyone's so horny in high school. Ooh, I need to stay outside and like look in people's windows and like plot things and destroy lives.
Taylor Swift, Goose the algorithm, Taylor Swift.
Donald Trump.
Taylor Swift and Donald Trump. They went on a date.
They're together now.
To see Alex Garland's Civil War in a movie theater.
Is the best. It ended things badly with that football man.
You know who wasn't there? Kate Middleton. Where is she? What's she doing?
Conspiracy.
Algorithm. Goose those numbers. This is Load Bearing Beans.
Hi.
I'm Matt Stokes.
And I'm Lacey Roth.
This is our movie podcast. We love each other. We're deeply in love. Like Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, we make love at night with a movie on.
We cannot stop talking about our Overboard episode. You should go listen to that one, maybe. This one's good too, though.
It's one of our bigger episodes. I sometimes look at our numbers and I'm like, are we a ladies podcast?
But we aren't, because you need to look at our actual analytics, and we are not.
No, I think our numbers show that our niche is, I think there is an opening for movies that are like a podcast that's about movies that women like, because there's a billion podcasts talking about Star Wars. And
well, thank God there's our friend podcast, Fiction Fixation. They do women's. Oh, right. We do too. Stay right here.
Speaking of which,
what?
I want to do a call to action right now. Our podcast is growing and we would like it to grow even more. So a call to action. People have been leaving reviews. Those are great.
Thank you. They really help.
Continue doing that. But more than that, tell a friend, tell somebody that this podcast will change your life.
Life change.
Lie to them.
Lie.
Say, I know you hate when I recommend stuff, but just give this a chance. And if that doesn't work, steal their phone and subscribe to the podcast.
Phone and then you subscribe to it on all the apps.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wait, but how do we know that they've done this? Can you just tell us? Can you just on one of our social medias just be like, I did it, and then we'll send you a bookmark.
Yeah.
We'll send you a bookmark from Mac's novel
from my novel from 14 years ago. It is that old.
They are collector's items.
Oh, yeah. I totally don't have a giant box full of them.
That's all, but that's it. Once that pile is gone, we don't even know how to order more. I don't have the art.
Yeah.
Okay. What a giveaway.
So is it a dead giveaway?
Oh, dead giveaway. Is that a drop? Do I have a drop?
You should.
Oh, I need it.
From Charles Ramsey. Dead giveaway.
I now realize that the soundboard is going to be lit today. That's something that no one said. The soundboard's going to slap.
Why?
You gave me 3 new sounds and I am pumped about all 3.
Okay, well, I'm going to forget about them and you bring them up when, like, the moment after I've forgotten about them. Okay. On this podcast, one of us picks a movie that the other is not so crazy about or doesn't know or hasn't seen or whatever. We make each other watch it and then we fight about it. We duke it out bitterly. What are we talking about today? Cruel
intentions. And something you've cruelly and intentionally left out of how the podcast works is that these usually are movies that we've watched a long time ago. And in our memory, in our foundational structure, we remember them as being damn good. And so we revisit after not having seen them for a very long time and fucking, come on, baby, be good. Come on, baby.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. How have we changed? What do we know about ourselves and the world that makes us look differently upon the thing?
Right.
You know?
Why am I vouching for this movie? Why when someone brings this movie up, I'm like, you haven't lived until you've seen Hello.
Okay, so why did you pick Cruel Intentions?
Okay, I was obsessed with this movie.
What do you mean obsessed? You said that off air.
I did say it off air. It's a horny ass movie. And a little bit. But it also seemed targeted to my age group at the time. They're in high school. And these kids fuck all the time. And sometimes they're fucking men who have jobs that are not in their high school.
Wait a second, hold on.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that this is like targeted at like about to enter high school or maybe junior high?
Yeah. It feels Twilighty to me. It's like, ooh, everyone's so horny in high school. Ooh, I need to stay outside and like look in people's windows and like plot things and destroy lives.
Well, I think it's targeted at maybe a 14-year-old demographic. One, because the actors playing the teenagers are all in their late 20s. Or, or their early 20s, but still you're like, oh yeah, that's a teenager, not a full ass grown adult.
Okay, so you need to be young to be buying all this shit is what you're saying to me?
Although I'm sure plenty of you people listening to this watched this movie in high school and loved it. This was 99. You were 15 years old.
See?
Yeah.
I was the demo.
Okay, what else did you like about it?
I liked all the actors. I loved hating the mean girl, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Is that who that is? I loved Reese Witherspoon. I did not know who Ryan Phillippe was, but after this, I knew him. I feel like I learned things. I feel like the best description of how to kiss a person happens in this movie. I think there's funny moments. I like how there's like a tragedy that happens and like it's pretty easy to move on from it because they just snap. I don't know. They deal with like heavy shit, but it keeps the pace. I don't know. The pace, like you don't sink too low or get too sad, but you do feel something. It's the world's quickest fucking romance, but like I bought it all. The tears, the anger, like this seems like the most plotting, smart family ever, and then all of a sudden they're real stupid.
That's why it works for teenagers and dumb kids, is because it's like everything's cranked to 1 billion.
It's whoo, yeah.
And you're like, that must be what life is like.
Exactly right. I always feel like I say too much in the beginning when there will be time when we go through the plot, my specific things where I'm like, adult me thinks a different thing right now, but not that different.
Did you see it in theaters?
I did.
You did? Were you a Buffy the Vampire Slayer kid?
Fuck no. I was. How dare you? You need to go back and listen to our Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode because I don't know why I couldn't be both, but because I love the movie, I decided you can't love the show.
And you'd seen the movie like well before the TV show came out.
Well before.
So it was like, this isn't my Buffy. What are they doing to my precious?
Exactly. The Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie I watched on repeat, and I felt very protective of it. And I think it's also probably like it seemed like for people who also listen to Britney Spears and pop music, it didn't seem like it was for me, even though it was vampires. So I don't know why.
No, it was a nerd show though. It's funny you think that.
That is weird, but there's a certain class of shows, and that's firmly in it. That one and Dawson's Creek and Gilmore Girls, and
so everything that came on the WB.
The WB is for rich white people only. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was for me. I don't know what the fuck I was watching. Other things.
What did
Survivor?
Okay. Did you like?
You're already mad at me.
So you took this to be like as a straight drama?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't play like a comedy to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, not at all. The camp would be completely lost on me. I see it now. No, I felt this was like melodrama, baby.
Yeah, it was lost on. I had definitely seen maybe 70 minutes of this movie on cable without all the fucks. I want to fuck. I want to
fuck with my fuck butt.
And I definitely did not know that it was a goofy comedy.
It isn't a goofy. I still don't think it's goofy.
It is it's so goofy. Are you insane?
I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me about it. I don't know how I feel. That's the problem with these. You don't know how you feel. That's the problem with these movies. The way because it does something very effective in pulling out my old feelings toward it too, that they get mixed together. And I have a hard time seeing it for what it is that an adult would see it with fresh eyes. I still feel like, I did get upset here.
And you were rooting for Ryan Phillippe and Reese Witherspoon in the movie, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
But now as an adult, I will say it does not bother me that he's dead. Spoiler. Because this would have never worked.
Well, because it's a fictional movie.
Well, that too. But there's so many movies that we are rediscovering together where I'm like, no, that was right.
He should have died.
There's so many. Or the ones where he doesn't die and I'm like, that's not going to work out now. You should have died.
Dirty Dancing being the example. Like, what the hell is Baby and Johnny going to do in the city?
I don't know. Well, and Overboard. One of them should have drowned in that water. There you go.
That's why.
It's a different movie.
No, but like James Cameron, that's why he's a genius with Titanic.
He's a fucking genius.
Have him die, and then give you the happy ending where she goes to heaven and meets him again, and they can be in heaven together. But maybe she also has an alternate heaven where she's with her other husband.
That's the tricky thing about heaven and having multiple dead husbands.
I've thought about this. You know the situation where a person is married to somebody. Like you and I. And then let's say I died, okay?
I just said when someone has multiple dead husbands. I just said it.
You only have one dead husband. Me.
Right.
Okay, I
Sorry.
die. It's very sad. You're sad, but then you eventually, your heart goes on, you remarry someone else, and you have a long life together.
Yeah.
Or let's say you're with that guy for the same amount of time, and then you die.
Yeah.
Or
Where do you bury him?
you're buying your gravestone and your funeral plot. And I realized that's the situation. That's like when a baseball player goes to the Hall of Fame and if they played for multiple organizations, they have to choose, because the Baseball Hall of Fame is the only one where you are enshrined on your bust with a team logo on your hat. So you have to choose the one that's most meaningful.
Yeah.
That's the situation where a human's life is most like the Hall of Fame.
I'm so glad you found something that would help you relate this issue to.
Yeah,
something
before
you can
I was
really-
like, I don't get it.
I don't understand. You got picked?
You love two people?
What if they just scoot you over and then everybody get in?
It is. How do you decide which wife you're going to be buried
Well, I
next
think it's
to?
with whoever. I mean, it's actually a pretty big transaction. There's it's like a whole to do, and it's written in your will. So I think if you've already made those arrangements with husband number one, you just go ahead and keep them. And I think people, if it's understood, if you're a widow, a widower, whatever, and you end up falling in love with somebody else, I think it's a big part of your story and a big respect thing from the other person that they honor the life that you already had, the kids you already had, the past and the arrangements. Now, if it's a whirlwind romance and it's like you feel like, oh, okay, this is different. This is the love of my life. Then I just think it's up to the couple, right? You kind of just got to go with the person who has to make the choice. You got to just let them make that choice and honor it.
Yeah, it's just like the
It's
Baseball Hall of
weird.
Fame.
It's very weird.
Like, well, I only played for the Yankees for 4 years, but I won the World Series versus...
Well, but maybe if you had kids with the first one, but not the second one, it's a family
Then it's
plot.
easy for you, yes.
Okay.
That's like I played for the Yankees, we won 2 World Series, and then I played for the A's for 5 years, we never made the playoffs. Okay.
Okay.
I got it.
Also, I'm being cremated because I want to save everybody the trouble. We can all fit, baby.
But we're going to put a husband on your head, on your hat,
A husband. We're gonna get rid.
on the urn that we put you on.
No, I want a little hat on the urn.
You got to earn that hat.
Yeah, I do.
All right, let's talk about the movie.
Oh, okay. My
Bye.
hair is being weird.
My hair's being weird.
It's aggravating. It doesn't know which side it wants. It's like
when you can't decide which husband you like better. All right, here are our predictions on the podcast. Before we watch the movie, we record what we think, how we think we're going to respond to the movie.
anyone that's going to enter the contest to see. Nope. Nope. Because they won't hear this.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm not deleting this. This is...
That was so... Okay.
Lacey says so much stuff during our episodes.
No.
God, I have no idea how I'm going to feel about this movie. I was obsessed with it as a young teen to normal teen. What? It's just I remember being very sexual and like it talked about stuff that I didn't understand, but I wanted to, and I was super horny for Ryan Phillippe, and I don't know. I was just like mesmerized by this movie. I wonder if it's going to make me feel really silly and uncomfortable now. I hope not.
As Lacey talks about how horny she is, you can hear our 7-year-old child in the background.
That's old-fashioned hillbilly folk for you, huh? Talking that sex while the kid's walking around.
Yeah, I guess this is a very sexual movie.
It's all... Oh, you're picking on me. It's all sex.
Yeah, but is it sexy?
Oh, no.
No, it's not, says Kevin Costner when he learns.
I think it's sex. I got turned on last night.
You did?
Yeah.
You slut. How dare you?
I love the the Reese Witherspoon, Ryan Phillippe. Like, I just love the way it's shot. Just all on their mouths and stuff, but not in a weird way. And they're under the covers, and it's just so sweet. I also like the part where Sarah Michelle Gellar is grinding on him when he's still really horny for his stepsister.
All right, so...
Those two parts are hot.
All right, well, I'll make clips out of those and just have them handy for...
Yeah, because, it's hard to get me going, love.
Well, at our age, sometimes you need a little assistance.
Little Ryan Phillippe, pick me up.
Here's my prediction.
Oh, good.
No, not yet.
Wanted to use all of them. All right.
Excited to view Cruel Intentions as an adult, as a smart man, a very learned man. I've seen this movie, at least half of this movie, one time when I was a, 14-year-old, excited to see that kiss. And I probably didn't know that it's a comedy. So my prediction is I'll like it because I understand this is a goofy movie. At least I think it is. They turned it into a musical, so it has to be.
They did?
My prediction is I'll like this movie. Good prediction. Okay, goodbye, everybody. I guess now I should say that I liked it.
Okay. You're becoming quite the sorcerer.
The sorcerer?
I don't know. The psychic? You're good at your predictions.
I did kind of want it to be better. I think like halfway through I was like, this is one of the best movies ever, and it's just
You look delighted over there. I was very excited.
This is so twisted. This is depraved. But
it doesn't go twisted enough, right?
Yeah.
It kind of fizzles out.
And I don't know if that's the director, Roger Kumble, like first time filmmaker not being able to sort of sustain that mode. I think maybe Reese Witherspoon is not totally dialed into what kind of movie this is, but I don't know how else.
But she's supposed to be an interruption, right? She's supposed to change the tone in the house, and she does. Because that's where you're absolutely right. This is a preteen movie because for an older audience, we want it to keep going this direction. It turns so wholesome. Or it takes a wholesome turn.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop being. That's not nice. It's in that camp the whole time. But like in the beginning, these plotting fucking 17-year-olds, 16, 15, how old are they? I don't know. They're unsupervised. Their houses are amazing. They dress like adults. They have adults come over. They're talking about matriculating, and they do coke up their nose, and they pretend they're going to fuck each other, and they kind of do. And what is his family? What are dinners like? What's Thanksgiving like?
I think that
where did he get his car? Why is there a seatbelt?
Why isn't there a seatbelt?
There's no seatbelt in that car.
Well, it's a classic. So there definitely was a time when all this stuff would have bothered me. Like, what kind of kids are these? What high school is this? I don't get it. And these are 28-year-olds playing teenagers. It makes no sense.
Never bothers
And now
me.
I'm like, hey, it's a movie. It's fake. It doesn't matter. And as I've said before, I like when older people play teenagers now because I can relate more to them.
It's not as gross when they're doing sexy things.
Exactly. I mean, it's why Selma Blair is great in this movie, but
very Poor Things vibes. Like,
kinda,
why
yeah.
are you so? I don't understand who she's. It's almost like they're making fun of who they think the audience is, because as I said to you off air, she is the only character I related to at all in terms of like having any clue what to do. I mean, I thought she was over the top, and that should have been the biggest red flag that this movie is not serious, because she's wild. But small boobs, not sure how to kiss people, and then fucks a lot once they feel kind of forced into it.
That was you were saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were fun.
Okay. And I like to do the secret society.
Yes, that's when I was like, oh, this is the Laci of the movie.
Oh, right.
A lot of weird dances.
No, just a couple of one. Just the one.
Let me tell you about the novel Dangerous Liaisons by Pierre Chaudeleur de la Cruz.
Oh, here's someone who knows how to powder the tips of his wig. Shit looks good.
So the novel was published in 1782. This man, Monsieur de la Cruz, sorry if I mispronounced it.
Oh God, you're not sorry.
There was a time when he was considered as scandalous a figure as the Marquis de Sade.
No.
A practitioner of the libertine philosophy.
Have sex if you want to?
Have sex. Morals don't exist. Do whatever you fucking want.
Wait, but morals just don't exist in the sexual nature, not like let's also kill people.
Maybe. It's where the word
have sex with whoever you want to, like child situation, bestiality. Where are we going with this?
I mean, that was probably part of it. No,
That's
it was
upsetting.
I know it was a counter to the propriety of polite society, but that's where the word sadism comes from, is Marquis de Sade, S-A-D-E. And there was this movement. It was a literary and philosophical movement, libertinism. But this man published this novel, Dangerous Liaisons, in 1782. And this is, historians look back on it now, and I haven't read this book. This all just comes from what I read about the book.
Okay.
This is published a full 7 years before the French Revolution, but when you look back, you're like, oh, it's all there. Everything that the Revolution was trying to tear down is in this novel, and People like the Queen, Marie Antoinette, was a big fan of the novel, not knowing that it was a criticism of people like her and the way that the French aristocracy was amoral and amorous, would fuck anyone they wanted and destroy the lives of whoever they wanted.
They fuck cake.
Yeah, that's what she said. And it's an epistolary novel, so it is just letters written by characters to each other.
Ooh.
And that's why, like, even in Cruel Intentions, there's a lot of love letters being written. It's like they couldn't get rid of that element of it.
Right, because emails for nerds and geeks and whatever.
And pedos.
And pedos. Geeks and pedos.
And so that's kind of interesting that, like, these, you read the novel and you read the letters that the characters are writing to each other, and you're supposed to understand what this character is saying is not true, and what this character is saying is maybe different from what they're saying to somebody else. So you kind of have to be a little detective.
Oh.
And that's the novel. And it gets turned into many different stage productions, ballets, films. But the most famous adaptation
My.
first was a stage production in 1985 in London featuring Alan Rickman as the male lead.
Oh.
And then that play was turned into a movie in 1989, Dangerous Liaisons.
Is that Glenn Close?
So Glenn Close is the Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Okay.
John Malkovich is Ryan Phillippe.
Oh, that's John Malkovich.
Uma Thurman is Selma Blair. Michelle Pfeiffer is Reese Witherspoon. And Keanu Reeves is Sean Patrick Thomas,
That is wild.
the music teacher.
That is something.
So I had never seen Dangerous Liaisons. I'd wanted to see it for a long time just because I've heard it's like the most John Malkovich-y movie.
Okay, but wait, how old are these people supposed to be?
Glenn Close was 43 at the time.
Right, but they're not, this is not the high school
No, these are not
version.
teenagers. No, the spin was let's take these aristocrats
Got
and
it.
put them in high school because high school is kind of just like the old aristocracy.
Got
But
it.
like Glenn Close is a little older. Michelle Pfeiffer's supposed to be a young ingenue, and Uma Thurman's super young.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fun movie. I give it 3.5 stars. Check it
Oh.
out if you haven't. And it's
Oh my.
a sexier movie than Cruel Intentions. But
With John Malkovich? I guess I haven't seen
you haven't seen enough Malkovich. He's a
seen
sexy
enough.
man. And Glenn
Okay.
Close,
Really?
in this movie, yes.
Okay, that's the heaving bosom.
It was the freckles on the face, actually.
Oh, you slut.
But what was weird is I watched these movies on back-to-back nights and then, watch Dangerous Liaisons on Saturday night, Cruel Intentions Sunday night, and they follow beat for beat each other. The same stuff happens in both movies. Like I thought, okay, Cruel Intentions will be a loose adaptation. Nope, scene for scene, basically.
I hate to make you Google something, so how much you hate it, but can you please look up Dangerous Minds for me?
That's the Michelle Pfeiffer movie where she teaches.
I know what it is. I want to see the logo. Okay. All right. I've seen Dangerous written this way, and it just happens to be Michelle Pfeiffer. I didn't mean anything, but I've seen. It's the Dare. It's the Dare logo. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Are you thinking of Michael Jackson's Dangerous?
Maybe.
Let's look that up.
Let's look that up. Here we go. So clearly, I'm not.
No, but I think the bad logo is.
All right. No, it's not that. No. I'm telling you, I think it's the Dare program.
No, the Dare program was.
Maybe it's Teen Wolf. It's that. It's Teen Wolf. This is a great game for the listeners. I win. It's
Look,
fine.
there you go. No, that looks right.
Yeah, I just thought it also had black font underneath, which is really where I was going with there. It's fine. It's probably this. It feels like this. Teen Wolf's one of my movies.
It is? I'll add it to the spreadsheet.
Okay, thank you.
I did see it one time in college because Bill Simmons talked about it all the time, and I was an annoying Bill Simmons fan.
Was it like how he referenced how he surfed on the car? I feel like that's always the reason people bring this up.
Oh no!
Car
It
surfing.
just I remember he talked about how ugly Michael J. Fox's friend Boof was,
Oh, I don't remember.
and no, it's just one of his. He's seen 10
got some-
movies, so he
right.
works
It's like your dad.
references. Yes,
Yeah. Linda.
Karate Kid is another one. All right, Roger Kumble is the writer director of Cruel Intentions, and he was 33 when he made the movie. He was
Wow.
a working playwright in New York and a screenwriter. His previous screen credits include National Lampoon's Senior Trip
Huh.
as a writer.
He's
but
young.
Cruel Intentions was his feature film directorial debut. He would go on to direct movies such as The Sweetest Thing. That's a load-bearing bean,
Hey,
right?
it is. He gets me.
College Road Trip, Furry Vengeance, and now he makes weepy straight to Netflix romance movies that I've never heard of, like After We Collided and Beautiful Disaster.
I feel like I've heard of that
The Cruel
one.
Intentions Blu-ray comes with After We Collided on it. I was like, what the fuck movie is this? But so there's an Entertainment Weekly oral history of Cruel Intentions. that came out in 2019, 20th anniversary. And he said that he was watching the movie Welcome to the Dollhouse. Yes. Previous episode, Welcome to the Dollhouse from Todd Solondz. Check out that movie. Check out that episode where I tell my story of going to Disney World and being miserable. Yeah. And he said, I would like to make a dark comedy centered on young people like this movie. So he turned to the novel Dangerous Liaisons. I'm going to update it. Sexy Manhattan Teens. And I'm going to call it Cruel Inventions. The movie was made for $11 million, a pretty small budget that I think it looks really good.
Looks really good. The location they picked was perfect. It's
impressive how they're able to spend $11 million and get that much New York in it. And how do you simulate this wealthy upper crust world if you don't have actual money?
Real people's houses, right? Like just people they knew?
I guess so.
They only needed 2 houses to make this work. The third one you can fake. And then it's just New York. You're just walking around New York.
Yeah, but that's hard to get a New York street, get like by Central Park and stuff.
Okay. What if you live in the park, Matt? Look at her stupid face. I just don't like her.
Who don't you like?
Oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar. I really like her in this movie, and I think that's because I'm supposed to not like her. There's just, I want to.
You say this all the time. What do you mean you're not supposed to like her?
Oh, well, wait. I love how evil she is, and I think that she's very good looking, so I like watching this character. When she plays a goody type, there's something so good about her look in general. It's too sweet. It's I can't stomach it. I don't buy her sass. But when she's evil and when it's dialed up, that's why I like this performance. I'm trying to think of other examples. I mean, is she in I Know What You Did Last Summer? Is that hers?
Yeah, and she's in Scream 2. She's in the Scooby-Doo movies. She's in I've never watched Buffy, the TV show.
I like her scared. I don't mind Know What You Did Last Summer, but I just know I've seen her in things where I'm just like, it's over. She annoys the fuck out of me. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't like her, but she's too sweet.
Oh, I think she's capital G great in this movie.
Yes.
She is the reason the movie works, in addition to the way it's directed. But she's my favorite thing by far in the movie. Deliciously evil character.
Agreed.
She got her start in soap operas on All My Children. Buffy the Vampire Slayer had started in 1997. So by this time, she's firmly established as a TV star. And her team did not want her to do this movie. They said it would be bad for your image. And she said, that's the point.
Oh, excuse me. Names.
Ryan Phillippe had also gotten his start in soap
and
operas.
Then they really dated in real life, huh? Ryan and Reese. I'm sorry.
Ryan Phillippe had also gotten his start in soap operas. This is a very soapy movie.
Yes.
He was on One Life to Live in the early 90s. He starred in I Know What You Did Last Summer with Sarah Michelle Gellar. In the oral history, Gellar says that them having known each other for a long time is why why she was comfortable doing all the sexy, steamy scenes with him.
Okay.
I bet it would be very, very uncomfortable to say to a stranger, you can fuck me in my butthole if you want to.
It's more the grinding parts. I think I could probably say most things. Doing is different.
I agree. Yes, you're right.
Okay.
And Reese Witherspoon, 22 years old at the time. Her breakthrough was probably Fear in 1996 with Mark Wahlberg. Pleasantville was the year before, but between Cruel Intentions and Election in 1999, she basically becomes an A-lister and then goes on to win an Oscar and is now this annoying Oprah-esque billionaire who has bad opinions.
Oh.
AI's here to stay, y'all. Let's make friends with it.
Okay.
Reese Witherspoon did not want to do this role. She thought it was too one-note. The character's too subservient, too easily manipulated by this pretty man. And Roger Kumble says she's basically an uncredited writer on the movie. She really helped me develop this character.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It would have been boring without some of the pushback that the character is able to give to him.
Reese Witherspoon's movie power, her power as a producer is great. She's a great producer. She's, she produced Gone Girl, she bought the rights to Gone Girl, intending to play the character herself, and then hired David Fincher. And David Fincher's like, number one, you're not playing the character. But in that way, I really like her. And she's a great actress who I love. It's just, she says annoying stuff.
Okay. I did not know that. I love when you ruin things for me.
And after the movie...
Who is that fucking nerd? Sorry, he's got posters up on the thing again. Sorry.
Fox greenlit a TV show that's going to be a spin-off of the movie, or like, no, not a spin-off, a prequel series, Manchester Prep, featuring younger versions of Catherine and Sebastian. And, but the series was not picked up. So they took the 2-part pilot and edited it into a straight to video movie called Cruel Intentions 2. In this, Sarah Michelle Gellar, the character she plays, is played by a very young Amy Adams.
Oh. And
then there was another straight to video movie, Cruel Intentions 3, that has none of the characters. It's just like, my cousin Catherine on Long Island did some evil stuff.
Let's do it again.
Kind of like Grease too. Your cousin Sandy told me you come over from England.
Right. Got it.
Roger Kumble in 2015 helped develop a stage musical that is still running. And Sarah Michelle Gellar does the in theater like audio message, like, please silence your cell phone.
Oh, okay. I was like, she goes there every night to do what?
So that's the history of Cruel Intentions. Looking forward to talking about this goofy movie, but not an extremely goofy movie.
No.
Cruel Intentions opens, as all great movies do, with a sped-up helicopter shot over New York City as Placebo's Every You, Every Me plays. The Third Man starts this way. Citizen Kane starts this way. Jurassic Park 3 starts this way.
But it felt very The Craft. I think The Craft literally starts with like a sped-up overhead shot of the town we're going to be haunted by.
Craftsville.
Witched by? Huh? I just wanted you to tell me if you remembered or not.
No, I don't remember that about The Craft. I remember it's set in L.A.
Oh, God.
Did that do anything
it's
for
not
you?
Salem. No, it did. But this one, and I don't know, is it Lost Boys? But that wouldn't be the right decade. I don't know. This just it feels very of its time. It's right on time. This opening.
This soundtrack is like a kind of legendary.
It's good.
A score was written by John Ottman, who we talked about last week because he did the score for X2, and he wrote a score for this movie that was rejected, and they replaced it with a score by Ed Shermer. And I think the score of this movie is just the most generic 90s Pure Moods compilation, which doesn't mean I don't like it. I definitely did add it to my Spotify playlist of Pure Moods, which wait,
so you're saying the instrumental parts, or do you also count the songs they bought?
No, not the songs. The original music that plays during the movie. Sounds like it could easily have been on Go Away to a World of Pure Moods.
Okay, so you're saying So you're not saying that the song choices in this movie became legendary, this movie's known for its 90s. I like the songs in the movie.
Yeah, that is what's legendary. The soundtrack and the score are separate things. The score,
I know,
is the generic thing, and the soundtrack, the pop songs is a well-known soundtrack. Like I said, Placebo starts the movie off. Shout out to our friend Matt Salazar, whose old MySpace screen name was Placebo is my drug of choice.
Okay.
And Ryan Phillippe is our hero, Sebastian.
Driving us in for a landing.
A vintage Jaguar.
Yeah, a roadster. Yeah. With no seatbelt, and I will bring it up every time I see it. It is upsetting because it's also a convertible. It's just like, eject me as easily as possible, roadster.
And he does die prematurely in this movie because of a car, but not his own car.
That's right.
But maybe the cab driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and he learned it from you. The movie was shot by Theo Van de Sande, and I think, again, this movie looks really good. It gets a lot of mileage out of its New York City photography. But Ryan Phillippe, Sebastian, is on his way to see a therapist in a mall. And
interesting.
He goes into to the therapist, and he's like putting on a pouty, like Cincy boy act. This is our introduction to the character. He's like, I'm just tired of having sex and I want to be good. Please tell me I'm good, mommy. And she's like, oh, that's great. You can be better. Here, just read my book.
And he also wants to fuck mommy.
Yeah.
Great.
And she's considering it. Is
it weird that Tara reads in the credits and this is the only time she's in the movie?
She's not prominent in the credits.
I saw her name.
She's in like a block of like, this is the.
No, it's earlier than you think, baby.
Maybe it's scenes deleted because I think she's probably a little well known at the time.
Well, when was American Pie?
2000. Or was it 99?
That's why I think I felt like it was like a cameo.
It would not have come out by the time this movie was in production,
all right.
at the very least.
I don't know. Okay, then.
But Sebastian leaves the therapist's office and we stay with the therapist, and the therapist gets a call from her daughter, Tara Reid, who's like, "Mummy, my life has been ruined because a mean boy put pictures of me naked on the internet." She's looking at the internet and it's a website that just...
I am a slut. I am a slut.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying. And it's just like, his whole thing, it's not creepy at all, is that he just wants to photograph people. And it's like now at post Me Too, we know this is like an opening... massages and photography are the two ways that serial predators get what they want. He just does it for compromise, the others for sex.
Yeah, between this and American Pie, there were a lot of sex crimes happening online, but like nobody understood the internet. So it's like, but that's like a Wild West that doesn't count. Anything you do on there, that's not like a
as soon
serious...
as it's a crime, it's considered the dark web. So serves him right for being on the dark web.
So this is what we know about Sebastian. He's a cad, and then we meet.
But he's more than a cad. He's a plotting man, a person who is very rich and petty, and is seemingly going around looking to be upset by something, and so then makes that his mission. He seems to be constantly going on little quests to fuck people over. He's a deeply unhappy, troubled boy. Do you think he's mad at the therapist like he says he is because she's overcharging? It seems more likely that he's mad that his parents made him go see a therapist. Right? And
I can't see his parents making him go to a therapist. I can't see them doing anything.
Then why would he have ever encountered her to begin with? Why even make her daughter his mark if he wasn't upset for the overcharging? They never say that there's a deeper reason why he went to all the trouble.
Because she's like a celebrity psychiatrist. She has a book and he's like, ooh, that's how he learned of her. So I'm going to go in there and...
God, he's bored. This is how he summers. That's another thing we need to remember. This is all
It's
happening
summer.
over a summer. So they don't always have this much time on their hands. So I'm sure he's he keeps the heists, the panty heists, to a minimum during the...
Right. If you're a parent, you know, during the summer, your kids, they get restless, they get bored, they start doing sex crimes, they
Right.
go to therapy voluntarily. These are the kind of things that happen. Let's
Right.
move to a year-round school system.
That's right. Yeah. Keep the kids engaged.
We head over to his house in the Upper East Side, this palace, and we meet his stepsister, Catherine, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and she is interviewing Cecile, Selma Blair, and her mother, Christine Baranski, and she's like going to be her, because Selma Blair is like starting school at Manchester Prep, as she's only ever gone to all girls schools.
Right.
So they're like, she'll be your mentor. Listen to what she says. She's popular and she's good.
She's the student body president, which is, I guess, is why she was sought out. But she seems to have sought them out, we find out, right? Like it seems... They say diddling more than once. I do want to say that.
Yeah, I wrote that down. The word diddling comes up twice over the course of 4 minutes. But
It's unfortunate. It takes out the sizzle.
presumably Sarah Michelle Gellar sought out Selma Blair because she knows that her ex-boyfriend Court has
Left
a
her.
crush on Selma Blair.
No, left her for Selma Blair.
Except that we never see Selma Blair with that guy, and Selma Blair isn't interested at all in that guy.
But she is talking about him often to Catherine and how they are going to go to the Hamptons together, which is not something you do with just some random dating situation. Catherine was clearly never invited to the Hamptons.
Yeah, and yeah, so we can presume these are some rich parents who are like, my kids, this is like a political alliance. I'll send my kid to go to the Hamptons with your kid. That'll be a good connection to make. It seems like a romance that her parents want. And when no, you don't agree?
Whose parents want?
Selma Blair's.
I don't think her parents are orchestrating anything. I think that they're allowing their daughter to go to the Hamptons because of who it is. But no, the only reason why the mom and the daughter are in this story at all is because Sarah Michelle Gellar's character brought them in so that she could fuck over Selma Blair. Mm-hmm. There's no other. I don't think we need to look beyond any intentions of parents outside of this.
I think it's fun though. There's so much going on in this movie. I want to see what's at the edge of the canvas. What are these parents doing when I'm not looking?
I did hope for a parent cameo of some kind.
Nope.
There's
You're
not
not
even
gonna
a
get
kitchen cameo or a bathroom cameo. These people don't shit or eat.
No, they're
They
better
just
than
walk
that.
from these 2 rooms and then back and forth to each other's bedrooms. That's the entire set of this movie, but it works.
And from house to house. Like
Well, that's fine.
my condo in Manhattan, my Long Island estate, I'll sleep there, I'll sleep there, I'll sleep at the school. Doesn't matter.
They only have this one house, and then the estate that's on the Long Island or whatever is just his aunt's house. Well, I'm just letting you know they don't have multiple houses. It's important. Status matters.
I'm not saying they have this. The movie's locations are all these rich fucks are all staying with each other all the time, and they're just hopping from rich person's house to rich person's house to rich school dormitory, and it's all the same. It's all this secluded little world where they never have to look at worms like us.
I'm sorry.
So
I hope they look at you soon.
Sebastian enters and Christine Baranski's like, I heard about you. You're a bad boy. The school nurse. She's I heard what you did to her. And he's like,
Her hair just grew back.
I hear she's just now recovering. And what did he do? Don't know. Did he pull a sexy prank on her, or did he?
It's like, ma'am, you're in this guy's house and you're asking or looking to his sister for help with your daughter. And as soon as he walks in, you're that fuck. You're that rich fuck.
Yeah, I know you.
Calm down, Who from Whoville, which is the only thing I can ever see when I look at her face is that she was a Who.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, she's the mayor's wife.
She's
She's like the busy. No, she's not the mayor's wife. She's the busybody. No, she's the mayor's wife. Why are we?
Jeffrey Tambor is the mayor?
She's the one that's got the lights gun and she's like lighting her house up, and she's the one that's just always overdoing it, and she's the love interest.
I don't remember The Grinch that well.
Oh, okay.
They leave. Selma Blair, who's wearing a koala t-shirt, and Ryan Phillippe is like, how are things down under? Blossoming, I hope. And
Vagina.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, we're out of here, Cecile. So then we get
Close your legs.
Sebastian and his stepsister Catherine, Sarah Michelle Gellar, now are alone, and they drop the charade. Now tell me about their relationship with each other.
It's hot. It's sex hot. We don't know how long they've been brother and sister, stepbrother and sister. It couldn't have been since before puberty. I guess it could have, but they're both very oversexed, very into the boning, and they both ended up being hot. And so there's just this automatic tension between them of like, we're not supposed to fuck. Ooh, that's hot. We want what we can't have. Hence the virgin thing. Hence the I'm going to go fuck my doctor's daughter thing. They are each other's ultimate conquest. And so that tension, they do a really good job of having that sexual tension constantly. And they're both the same kind of fucked up. You don't even know, like, chicken or the egg situation. Did they become this way because they are around each other, or did one of them groom the other? Like,
I suspect Sarah Michelle Gellar groomed Ryan Phillippe to be a little like, he's a little evil, but she's like, oh, I'm totally evil and you should be too. And he's like, oh, okay.
I'll be evil then, and I'll do things and I'll tell you about them, okay, sis?
Yeah, and it's a reinforcing, we escalate our evilness because we have each other to compare ourselves to. They also seem like they've known each other for a very, very long time.
They do.
So did they know each other before their parents got married? I bet they did. Because again, this is this tiny world of Manhattan rich people. And they play little sexual games with each other. In Dangerous Liaisons, these two characters are not related by marriage.
Oh, well then who cares?
So it's Glenn Close's John Malkovich is her ex-lover, and it's like we were like the big former relationship for each other, but we're too fucked up to continue being
like
together.
House of Cards?
We still kind of like each other, like House of Cards.
I feel like they were each other's big whatever, but their relationship's very fucked up and like all about toying with people,
but they're still married to each other.
Yeah, they still see each other people.
Okay, yeah, it's like
House of Cards.
It's like House of Cards.
Okay,
and
anyway, this is where we find out that he's fulfilled this quest with Tara Reid, and now he's moving on to something even more interesting that will definitely titillate sis.
Because he's bored. He's growing bored with seducing Manhattan debutantes. And
then what the fuck is Reese? Like, I mean, her dad's the headmaster, so what? She's the help.
No, she is a Manhattan. Well, she's not a Manhattanite, but it's because of this 17 article. She has an article in 17 magazine, Why I Plan to Wait to Have Sex Until I'm in Love. And they pull out this 17 magazine and read from it. And it's called A Virgin's Manifesto.
Before manifesto was too toxic a word to use.
I never read 17 magazine. Were like just children allowed to write articles that are their manifestos in this magazine?
Maybe 17 magazine is published in New York and it's just about who you know. I'm sure that's all that it is. It's very smart that they have that a magazine drives this plot, or that it's involved at all. It's just a beautiful little time capsule. Magazines were so important.
Yeah, this movie's all about magazines and letters, love letters. But Reese Witherspoon is Annette, and she is from Kansas City, Kansas.
Oh.
And her dad is the new incoming headmaster at their school, but she's like a famous virgin. That's her brand is virginity. But it's not a Christian-based virginity. It's just, I'm waiting till I love somebody. Although she has had a boyfriend for the past year, so I'm sure he's thrilled about this.
Or he's gay.
I plan to wait until I've loved somebody to have sex with them.
Right. That's a little harsh.
Yeah. Yeah, they make a wager. I bet you can't fuck her. And then also at the same time, I want you to fuck Cecile Selma Blair because my ex-boyfriend likes her, so that's no good. So you got to fuck two of them. It's a little sweaty.
It is a bit.
You got to do both for kind of unrelated reasons. But just do it. Just do it. The same thing happens in Dangerous Liaisons. Two different conquests.
Well, because, yeah, Ryan Phillippe having sex with Selma Blair's, it's the whole point is to turn her out, turn her into a little slut, because she felt she was left by, what is his name? Brock? Court. She was left by Court for someone innocent and sweet, and she wants to prove that there's no such thing. So it's her mission to make everyone as into sex and boning as many people as possible as she does. So she's educating, she's getting her brother to educate her on how to have sex and things to do in bed, and then she's also going to get her to have sex with her music teacher. That way, by the time Court gets to her, she's going to be way too informed, and that's going to be like, to him, he's going to be like, what the fuck, you were supposed to be my sweet virgin.
But it's all in the name of advancing sex positive feminism. So she's really kind of an icon, if you think about it, a feminist icon.
Okay.
Because later in the movie, she declares, how come it's okay for guys to talk about how much they love sex, but I can't fuck who I want?
I don't disagree. She's
someone to be admired, is what I'm saying.
All right.
And as it so happens, Reese Witherspoon's character Annette is staying with Sebastian's aunt on her Long Island estate. Aunt Helen is played by Oscar winner Louise Fletcher, totally slumming it in this movie with two scenes in which she does absolutely nothing. And Annette is staying here, and so Sebastian's like, well, I'll go hang out with my favorite auntie and I can ingratiate myself with Annette. And he immediately starts trying all of his little tricks on her. First, he's negging her. Then he's flattering her. And she's right away like, yeah, I know what you're doing. I've heard about you. I know your reputation. And I'm immune, sir. So don't even bother.
Got him.
And he's like, how do you know my reputation? You're not from here. She said, I have a letter.
Yeah, someone wrote me a letter.
These people are...
Because they knew I was going to this school, and just call her. Like, it's okay that cell phones don't exist, but landlines,
she's like, it's even more true because it came via US Post. It's a letter.
You can't people fraud the mail.
They're always writing to each other.
But you said that's because of the book.
Yeah,
which that makes a lot of sense because I was very confused by all this pen paling. Okay, now I don't know whose house they're at. I assume this is
Selma Blair's house.
But then why is Mei Lee with Catherine?
Because she's a rich piece of shit. She has to go everywhere with her help. Yes. Because this is the same place where later Selma Blair's mom
kicks them out.
Yeah.
Okay, you're absolutely right. All right, so for whatever reason, she comes in without knocking, Catherine, and walks in on, what is her name? Cecile getting music lessons, very sexy cello lessons. There's not a hotter instrument because you do have to spread your legs. And I don't know. Who gave her this music teacher? Has he been around for a long time? Did Catherine's character request that she learn an instrument for this school?
She knew the perfect person.
I don't know if he's a plant or if he has been her music instructor. That is not clear, and they don't say.
No, I think it's
They don't say.
I don't know.
They do not say. Also, I mean, yes, Catherine is very amused by how hot they are for each other, but she might have just like delightfully discovered it, not planted it there, because she seems to not have put the hidden camera in there until after she sees this.
People listening, if you're in a relationship and your partner is taking music lessons, just know that means they're cheating on you. There's no other explanation.
What?
That's absolutely. If an adult takes music lessons, it means they're fucking their teacher.
You know
Look
that
it
our
up.
friend Brittany took music lessons.
I hate to tell you this about Brittany.
No, maybe she did. No,
Okay.
She joined an orchestra.
Only if it's a string based. Yeah, that if it's a one-on-one, if it's a music tutor, you need to go and he needs to help me with my bowing. You know what that means.
Okay.
I'm not talking about an airplane.
Got it. A beau as in a mate, as in a boy that you're going to date. And that rhymed. All right. Sure. Okay. So Cecile's actually a horny little trollop, just like everybody else. That's what we learned from that scene, I guess. Then we go now to Sebastian trying to find out who could have written this letter. It's totally fucking up his. Oh, shall we say this? Sorry. To make it interesting, because rich people are bored, Catherine and Sebastian make it a bet, a really high stakes bet. If he wins, he gets to finally fuck Catherine. And if she wins, she takes his car. There, that's important. High stakes. Now he's really on a mission. What the fuck? People coming in here fucking up my game, writing letters to my hoe and convincing her I'm also a hoe. So he goes to get weed from his weed dealer, who's also wonderfully gay, and I find him funny, not because of it, but I think Joshua Jackson. I think he's great in this role. I guess he also just kind of knows everything. Like he's the fucking bald guy from Game of Thrones. I don't know. He just has little birds. And
he is. He's kind of the Varys, the master of whispers.
Yes. And so, of course, he knows right away. Kansas City. Who do I know? I know the entire school, and I know where they're from and their backstories. Who could that be? Oh, yes, this guy. It's also a guy that happens to blow me and have sex with me a lot. And he's very homophobic, and he pretends not to be gay, except for all the times he's having sex with me. So definitely it's him. That's what we learn here, I believe.
I like that the Joshua Jackson's character is gay, and it's not, the joke isn't here's a gay person.
Yeah, no.
He's not flamboyantly gay or anything. He's evil gay. It's a new kind of gay we're
and
seeing
a drug
in movies.
dealer, so entrepreneur.
Yes. And I was looking for an answer to this and I couldn't find it. I suspect that at least in the script or maybe even in deleted scenes, Ryan Phillippe's character is also having sex with men. Like it really feels like that's just something that they just delete out of the movie. Like he's that's kind of how he's acting with Joshua Jackson.
And you haven't seen Saltburn.
No.
It's a perfect. It's like an upgraded this. I loved it. It's like if this went all the way, that's Saltburn.
Yeah, I'll watch Saltburn once everybody has forgotten about it.
Okay.
Well,
I think it's a good companion to this movie.
It's just a discourse movie, and the discourse is faded, so it's probably safe to watch it.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, and now you said that you probably saw this movie because of the kiss. And when this scene comes on of Catherine and Cecile in the park on their little fucking blanket, I that was the first time I was like, oh, this fucking scene. No, there's no boy in my high school that didn't talk. And this movie was good for other reasons. This wasn't even that good of a scene. And it's just, I hated how basic boys were. I hated that this is just everything to them, that two hot girls kiss. Because I couldn't even be one hot girl, let alone two, kissing each other.
It's a good scene, though. It's very funny.
Is it? Okay.
I think it's a great scene. I think it's well shot. I think these two are very funny. And it also has Blur's Coffee and TV, one of their very best songs.
Okay, great.
Coffee and TV has my favorite music video of all time. Look it up, people. It has a milk carton who gets separated from his family.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so this is where Catherine is further explaining to Cecile how very simple and ordinary it is to have sex, be sexy, think about guys, bone them and whatevers. And Cecile's grossed out and I'm kissing. Oh, sick, so slimy. So she shows her how easy it is and gives the best description of how to kiss that I've ever heard. You massage the tongue that it's going to be entering your mouth. Brilliant. You don't stab a person repeatedly in their mouth with a little tongue knife, which happened to me once. Boy, was that a bad kiss. Did not kiss him again.
Should we share the stories of our first kisses?
Oh, fuck. No, thank you.
Okay. Selma Blair said this in Entertainment Weekly in their oral history. Quote, my mother, after seeing it for the first time, told me, honestly, Selma, did you have to use so much tongue? That poor Sarah, she looks so delicate. And then you just have that Goliath in her mouth.
Jesus. Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar said, all I remember thinking was I could kiss Selma all day. Her skin was so soft.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, Selma Blair has a larger head than Sarah Michelle Gellar. They have similar frames, but you know, Selma's just has bigger bone structure. So when she leans in and it's all her tongue, I think Sarah's not giving enough tongue. She's doing this.
She's holding back.
I'm not in that.
Yeah.
I think more than that. Yep. So it was just the angle it was shot from. It was her tongue looked big and fat.
Do you okay?
God, even women can't have fat tongues. Fucking
Dude, her fucking tongue was fat. Okay. Do women really practice kissing each other?
No.
Yeah.
Wait, did boys think that?
I don't know. I didn't have friends, so I didn't know what people thought.
We practice kissing, just not each other. I had a mannequin.
Oh.
Like just a mannequin's head.
Like that episode of King of the Hill.
Sure.
Catherine suggests, she's like, hey, you know, I heard your music teacher likes you. And Cecile Selma Blair is like, oh, I like him too. I love him so much. He writes me letters, you know. And she's like, do you respond to these letters? And she's like, no.
See, this is why I think that this relationship's been going on for a while. This Catherine just stumbled into this. Just is going to add this to her list of things she can do to turn this girl out. I don't think she planted it.
She says, well, listen, I'm the best letter writer in the world. Make copies of the letters and give them to me.
Well, but wait, also, he's already so infatuated with you that he sends you love letters. Thanks, Catherine, for the fucking bringing it on home. I don't think it's my lack of knowing how to spell things that he already likes me. I don't need your fucking help. But fine.
Yeah, but everything she proposes to help her, like, we'll teach you how to have sex. We'll teach you how to write love letters. Here's my second lesson. My first lesson was if your partner's taking music lessons, they're cheating on you. Number 2, if anybody takes an interest in your personal life, I mean any interest in your personal life, they're doing it for nefarious reasons. Okay. They're doing it for evil reasons. No one fucking cares. No one's going to help you write love letters.
Well, I mean, that's a very specific interest to take in someone's personal life. So I don't know if we can make it a blanket statement, but fine.
No, we can.
Okay.
Back at the Rosemond estate, Sebastian.
Interesting words you chose, because there's a picture of Ryan Phillippe's ass right now. So back at that mansion, throwing it back at that mansion. Is it someone's birthday?
But at the mansion.
Who brought the cake?
Sebastian, he's taking a dip in the pool at his Aunt Rosemond's estate, and he's playing classical music real loud.
And sitting in a wheelchair, which seems like fucking sinister to me.
Not okay.
It's not yours.
Sebastian. So he's like, I thought you'd like the classical music, and look, it worked. Here you are. Come swim with me.
Blared into your fucking room.
And Ryan Phillippe said, I felt okay with showing my butt. Everybody has a butt. It's really not that graphic. So many guys on Twitter are like, that's the moment I knew I was gay. And then there have been guys who
really
are like,
nice butt.
I behaved like Sebastian to get laid, which I never did. End quote. And he conspires to have Reese Witherspoon see his butt. Mm-hmm. And but I like that this is when you can see Reese Witherspoon's like work on the character. She always acknowledges to him, like, I know what you're doing. You're showing me your butt. You're trying to manipulate me, but she still finds him a little charming.
Okay, but pointedly, she reveals that he has not gotten to her after she lets him think that he has. He circles her in the pool. He's saying things that are like, I think you're so beautiful. Like he's doing all the things. He's already gotten away with the butt thing. Mm-hmm. She did not say anything. And then she's like, I'm so beautiful. I don't know. She gives it back after he's already thinks he's got away with something, which is delicious.
But not before she's like quoting from this MacGuffin letter she's received about him. She says, even more treacherous than he is attractive, he has never uttered a single word without some dishonorable intention.
A cruel one?
What are these letters? They should have published the letters. So he's on a mission to find out who wrote this letter, and he's enlisted the help of Blaine. Blaine's gonna seduce this football player Greg, who's secretly gay and is also from Kansas City. And so he's like, hey, I'm gonna be fucking Greg at this time, so just come into my room at that time and take pictures, and then you can use those to blackmail him. So he does. And he's like, I know that you've been bad mouthing me to Reese Witherspoon. And Greg, the football player, is like, no, I promise,
Dude.
I promise I haven't.
Bruh.
And then Blaine, the evil gay man, is like, you know what? On second thought, it wasn't him. And I like that.
The boy can barely spell.
Ryan Phillippe, his character, like has like a little twitch of a smile where he's like, oh yeah, yes, because you're the gay version of me. You're also evil and just manipulating people. But he's not mad about it. He's just like, well done.
Well, I already have these photos, don't I? But he still was able to use it to his advantage. It's still the Kansas City connection, if you will. And apparently he's the Gregster. And like, so him and Reese go way back because
he says,
Kansas is this small.
Yeah, you're like my sister. It's my job to take care of you.
What the fuck? What are you talking about, man in short cropped shirt? But it works. They have a lovely beach walk and she says everything.
I'll tell you who wrote the letter. It was
this other lady we already know.
Christine Baranski, Madame Cecile's mom.
Carell. So
we have one of many scenes where Sebastian and Catherine, grind on each other while discussing their machinations. And she's like, I'm this close to fucking you. He's like, I can't wait to fuck. And then she's like, not right now though. And he's like, oh, come on.
You can leave me with brotherly blue balls. I'm telling mom.
So Catherine meets up with Cecile's mom because she's moving the pawns, the pieces around her chessboard. She's like, I'm going to tell her that she's dating Ronald, the music teacher. And Christine Baranski's funny. She's aghast at this news. And Sarah Michelle Gellar's like, I know, Cecile's so young and he's so, and she's like, black. And so she goes and confronts Ronald and kicks him out of the house and says, how dare you? I brought you off the streets and this is how you repay me. And he's like, got me off the streets. I live at 59th and Park. And I would think a woman of your stature could see you beyond race. And she says, don't give me that racist crap. I gave money to Colin Powell.
Brilliant.
Laci, I spent about 15 minutes trying to figure out what could she have given money to Colin Powell for? He never ran for office.
Right. Wasn't he the Dick Cheney type?
Well, he was
the role?
At this point, he was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff during the Gulf War. This is before he was Secretary of State.
I cannot believe we're going to have this exchange and you're not going to high five the fuck out of me for knowing that two people served in the same role. In a government position.
Which are?
Oh, I thought you were saying that they did. Secretary of Defense. Secretary of the Secretary.
You're
saying they didn't?
No, but you're close enough,
I'm
love.
close.
Good job.
I did it. They were secretaries. Yes?
Well, Colin Powell was Secretary of State for George Bush.
Uh-huh.
Dick Cheney was Secretary of Defense for George H.W. Bush.
I did it.
You did it.
I did it. Send money to me next time, Mrs. Who.
I can only conclude this must have been some fucking foundation or other.
It doesn't really matter. They just had to pick like the least impressive politician to make him feel like she's on his side that they could, and that was a good choice.
Well, the most non
right. He's not pushing back and like trying to
whatever charitable
advance the the black people's.
No, his advance is I'm going to invade your country.
Right. He's who gives a shit? He just happens to be black. Doesn't really matter that you're contributing to him. That doesn't say ally.
1999, interesting. Colin Powell, would only have been known as the nice army man from a few years ago and not one of the architects of the war on terror. No. Interesting. 9/11 comes up again. It always does on this show.
It does. I turned 15 in, no, I didn't.
No, you probably did at some point.
I think I did. Yeah. Well, thank you for, I turned 15 at the turn of the century. Thank you. But, I was just saying that this is the sweet spot of my movies, and fucking 9/11 happened when I graduated senior year. So what are we gonna do?
And all movies either came out before or after 9/11. So
you will find that's
so
true.
I will work it in somehow.
It really is your 9/11.
It is. There's like a little bit of subtle like critique of the rich in terms of race going on because all of their all of the housekeepers or just
Yeah.
in-house staff are all different ethnicities, are all people who they imply don't speak English. And then there's, this stuff with Ronald, where Christine Baranski just assumes you're from the streets.
Right.
And not, I'm also a rich fuck like you. Okay. So then what happens?
Well, this is when everything changes for Sebastian. This is when he starts asking everyone to start calling him Sebast, because he's so down to earth now.
I'm Seb.
I do not. This is the first on this watch. I do see now this relationship is just a bit unearned because I don't really understand what's really changed for him. I know she has since gotten a talk from the broski or whatever to ease her mind about how bad this Sebastian person is. I don't know how they ended up in the car. Did they go spend the day together?
Louise Fletcher said, you two need to go volunteer at the old folks home. Off you go. Go.
He pretends to have had a nice time with an old lady that he lies to repeatedly.
Which I love. I love that he's volunteering with this old lady and he's like, we've been having fun all day. I promise. We've been playing backgammon.
I won 3 times.
When it's a lie, he's just been reading a magazine.
Right. And she sees through that, Reese does, but not completely. He's acting like, that was moving to me. I really enjoyed the old person memory. And she's like, come on, it's okay. You don't take yourself so seriously. What about these faces I can make? And she really does make some world famous goofy faces. She had several. Reese Witherspoon had several of those up her sleeve.
I'm going to say
I liked all of them.
I think Reese Witherspoon's pretty great in this movie, but I think these are some weak ass goofy faces.
They are excellent. Give me top one of them. Look into the camera. Give me one that's better.
From Funny Face. No, I don't know. I just don't think they're good.
They are fucking amazing. She even gives herself a
this
tab.
Is supposed to be the thing that changes him. Because later he's like, she made me laugh.
Well, because
with her goofy face.
He knows how to laugh at like highbrow comedy. He knows how to laugh in a rich people way. He knows how to, in this world, you have to be so protective of your reputation and so better than everybody else that you have to take yourself very seriously. She is allowing herself to look like a fucking idiot. And to him, that is endearing. Like, oh, I could be the butt of a joke. You could be the butt of a joke.
But the faces aren't that goofy.
They're fucking great. She does all kinds of stuff with her eyes and her tongue. I like them.
I want to share a very traumatic memory. Okay. I was becoming friends with this young man when I was like 12 years old, and he invited me to go see No Doubt in concert. And his dad drove us across the causeway to New Orleans. So it's a long drive over a bridge. He's sitting up in the front, I'm in the back, and he just keeps turning behind at me and making goofy faces at me. Oh. And I had to keep going.
How old?
12. And you're like,
show me the face.
Oh, just like. He would just turn around and give me a quick one of those. And every time I had to be like, another good face from you.
Can we tell? Let me tell you, the causeway is a 30-minute bridge. It is the longest bridge over water in the world. And that's a long fucking time to be fake laughing at face. I understand now why.
It was like a first friend date, too.
Oh, God. This is all he's got. This is what he's made of.
Okay. It's time to laugh. It's
so
okay to laugh. And so Ryan Phillippe goes to see his sis. Hey, sis, what's up? I don't know about this whole bet thing. She's like, you better fucking do it or I'll cut off your balls. And he's like, oh, okay.
You're out of order again.
I'm not out of order. You're out of order.
He is starting to be wishy-washy because this is the first time he has an interaction with his stepsister where he's not like totally into her sexual thing that she's doing. But this is not totally when he's like, I'm not doing this. He's getting there, but you're out of order. This is the first time there's a crack in his dam. Next slide, please.
Because he says she made me laugh. Just like say anything.
No one is fighting you on this.
Just like say anything. And so he goes to see Reese Witherspoon and they start smooching a little bit. And then she stops him and she's like, I just don't trust myself when I'm with you. But the next scene, he goes into her room and she's like, let's do it. Let's just have sex. But he says, I can't. And he leaves.
Well, he also accuses her of being in love with him, of being a hypocrite.
Yeah, you're a hypocrite. This is like some expert manipulation. He's like, you're a hypocrite because you love me and you're not willing to have sex with me despite what you wrote in 17 magazine. Fuck you, bitch.
I don't associate myself with hypocrites.
I'm going to the south of France. And she's like, no, wait. And then she unbuttons her
Right.
blouse.
And then he rejects her, or he doesn't reject her, but he just can't do it. He's gotten his conquest and he just can't. That's when he goes to motherfucking sister and is like, I had the opportunity and I didn't do it. What the fuck? And that's when she sets up a sex date with the music teacher for some fucking reason, because they only know 5 people.
I like that Sebastian, he's playing this as he is being tempted, and the temptation is, why don't you be a good person? He's like, no, I can't. But he's like Kylo Ren. He's
Well,
like,
he's been
I feel the pull of the good.
He's been working on his bad boy reputation. Like you said, keeping up with his evil sister, that makes a lot of sense, especially in these moments. It's like he has been groomed to be this bad, and he's starting to show signs of being a decent person. He even questions her at one point of like, are we really going a little far on this one? Do we really want to totally fuck over this innocent girl's reputation? And he was only talking about Cecile when he was talking about that. So, his little goodness does show through. Luckily, Sis is there to beat it back. And this is when she sets up the first sexual encounter between her and, Cecile and Sebastian. He's not super into it. He never is. He wasn't. He's now having a crush on Annette. So, bad timing. But I don't remember why she's told to go over to the house.
Because they're being the secret conduit, the secret letter exchangers between her and Ronald. So he's like, come over to my place. I've got a letter for you and I'll help you write your reply. So he gives her a Long Island iced tea, and
with a crazy straw.
Yeah. And she drinks it and writes her love letter, but it's a Long Island iced tea so that he can lower her inhibitions and take advantage of her.
Right. Yeah. Also did not age well. And so he starts taking pictures of her, and then he starts saying, you don't know how to be sexy. And then she's sexy. And then she's like, okay, well, I won't tell your mom you're here. Like, he just totally blackmails her. I won't tell your mom you're here as long as I can give you one kiss. And she says, just one. And then she agrees to it. And he's like, I didn't say where I was going to kiss you. I want to kiss your vag. And she just lets all right. It was just a Long Island iced tea, but whatever. And then he does the alphabet on her clit, and that just mesmerized me.
Wait, when does that come up?
What do you mean?
When do they say that?
The next time she's with Catherine, she says, and then he took his tongue and he spelled the alphabet.
Oh.
Boys always said that's how you eat out a girl. Sorry, God, this is getting graphic. Adult themes are happening. Is you just go like this. It's like, can't you just tell a guy to wiggle his tongue around?
No, we need it spelled out. We need it spelled out for us.
So do we.
Next time I'll just hang with me.
But if they do it in the wrong location, you're just. And that's the first time the girl's ever had that happen. She doesn't know to tell you you're doing it wrong. You're just doing it wrong.
So the next day, Selma Blair goes to talk to Sarah Michelle Gellar, and she's like, he took advantage of me. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, and the same scene happens in Dangerous Liaisons between Glenn Close and Uma Thurman. She's like, so he forcibly had intercourse with you?
Right.
Did you say no? Did you try to fight him off? Then it's your fault. And then she reveals that she had an orgasm, and she didn't know what an orgasm was. She's how old is she supposed to be? Who is this character?
15, I don't know, 15 or 16. I can't tell.
But Sarah Michelle Gellar,
insanely sheltered.
Yeah, I mean, it's the pampered rich person, parents control your life sort of.
Well, I mean, look at that helicopter
character.
mob though, right? Like it's a way overdone situation where you've got Catherine and Sebastian over here that they're completely unmonitored. So it can go either way.
Sarah Michelle Gellar says to Selma Blair, like, here's what you need to do. You need to keep having sex with my brother, and he'll teach you like how to fuck good. And you keep doing that, and don't worry, just keep it a secret. And she's like, it means we're in a secret society. She's like, yeah. And then she does the secret society dance. It's very funny.
It is very funny.
The next scene, Sebastian and Cecile are post-coital, and he pushes her off the bed. She gets pushed off of things a lot, but it's always funny.
Yeah, but, she's oversexed.
But he's like, he's annoyed with her because she's being like needy and chatty after sex, and he's like, I'm out of here.
Well,
and where does he go?
He's distracted and in love with Annette Funicello. So he knows he left her high and dry, Annette, after she offered herself to him, and I guess he can't get her out of his mind. I kind of lose the plot of like when he's being vindictive and when he's like kind of lying to his sister,
it's a lot
and
of
when
back and forth.
So now he does the sad boy thing. Okay, so this a bunch of times I got Edward vibes, Edward Cullen. And I don't know if it's the way he's dressed. I don't know if it's the droopy way he puts his head. I don't know if it's because he like lingers outside of her house a lot. Like, I don't know what it is, but like this is vampire. I'm getting vampire, and it's totally hot.
When she goes up the escalator at the subway station and sees him,
Hanging
drooping his head at the top, it is shot like Twilight. Yeah.
But there are other moments too, like when he's outside of her house and he like perches like a gargoyle, and like there's just different moments, and I'm just like, that's why I like this movie. That's hot.
So they go make tender love.
Oh, thank you for putting that fucking word in here. You know that I do not like the word love.
You can see their bodies glistening with sweat.
Like a vampire in the sun. I love their sex scene. I've told you that. I think it is hot. I think that like it totally works as like her first time. He does the thing we all want as girls when it's our first time, for the guy to say, "Are you okay?" It's, am I okay? That is so nice of you to ask me that.
Isn't that always? I don't know.
No one asked me that.
Oh well.
You know?
You don't know where I'm going.
No shit, Matt. And plus, if you and me were each other's first, I'd be asking you if you were all right.
Because I'd be
weeping. I'd break that shit off.
It's true. It's true. No, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. So
great.
The next morning he's like, I had sex with a woman and I love her and she makes me laugh and I'm so happy. I have these flowers. And he hears his sister like having sex in another room. He's like, what? Say? So he goes and knocks on her door and she's like, oh, nothing. I'm not doing anything. And he pulls open a drawer under her bed and inside of it is a man.
It is the music teacher.
It's Ronald. She was having sex with him.
Like I said, they only know 3 people.
Yeah. So they kick him out, and as he leaves, he mutters like, "Fucked up shit going on in this family." And so Catherine is like, "Okay, so you've won our bet. Now it's time to fuck. I want to fuck." And he's like, "I'll take a rain check, sis." And she gets really mad, and then she says, "What's happened to us? You love her. You don't love me anymore."
Yeah.
What happened to us? You love her. You used to love me. And I'm like, really? Okay, what is the story here? They're just
yeah, like. I think she means that. Like I think that's like a moment of she's being vulnerable to see how he responds, and he's mean. He makes her feel stupid for having done that.
She thought that all along, all their weird evil games were how they expressed their love for each other.
I think so.
Yeah. And now you're interested in someone else?
Like for realsy reals?
Yeah. I feel sorry for her. And also I wrote down, it's kind of sweet. I like that.
I thought it was kind of sweet too.
But she's like, hey, fucking you break up with her or I'm going to ruin her life. I'm going to tell the headmaster that his daughter's not a virgin. And also I'll,
ruin your life.
Doing some other bad shit.
Well, she's also threatened to ruin his life.
Yeah. So he goes up to break up with Annette.
Reese goes full Will Smith is what you've written on this slide. That's because she slaps him. Okay.
And it wasn't in the script. Reese Witherspoon slapped her boyfriend for real, and then he had to go vomit.
What? What do you mean?
This is what they said in Entertainment Weekly. I don't know why he had to vomit.
Why would he vomit?
Because she slapped him and it hurt, or it's so emotional. I don't know. Okay. Maybe it would be like a hypothetical you and me.
Because have we even said that Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe are boyfriend and girlfriend in real life?
Yeah,
here?
We said that.
I feel like we really didn't hammer it in, All
right. Well, in post, I'll edit it in every 5 minutes. So let's get a clean read of you saying that they're boyfriend and girlfriend.
They're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah, they have a very powerful breakup scene. I think Reese Witherspoon's really good here. And I like that he knocks on her bedroom door. She invites him in and she's like, she's the character who's like made a big deal about being a virgin, but not for religious reasons, just because I want to be in love. Now she's had sex and she's not like regretful or anything. She's like, ooh, let's have sex again.
Yeah.
I like it. I like you. I'm happy to be with you, my boyfriend.
And it's embarrassing. I get secondhand embarrassment every time she says it because I remember that. I'm
chased. This happened to you?
I'm chased and then I'm not. And you made me feel like it was okay that we did that. And now I'm into it. And now you're going to make me feel like a slut for it. Thank you.
Oh, God, your life. We're going to have to tell the full Laci story on the podcast one day.
We don't have the film.
Your life is a Charles Dickens novel. You were in the child labor camps.
That's true.
And they break up. It's a very very good scene, I think, for Reese Witherspoon. And so he's like, well, I lost that one. Now I'll go home to my sister and at least I'll fuck her. But his sister's like, I don't fuck losers. You're a real loser. And this is like the climax of the old movie is like, no, this whole thing has been about me fucking over you. I'm destroying your life. It
hasn't, though. That is what it seems like. And that's probably how I took it when I was younger. But it's very clearly in the way that she looks after he walks out of this scene and in the way that she's acting in the one we were describing before, that no, she really thought they had something and that they were going to end up together, and he betrayed her. And so she had to get the upper hand back and make it seem like a plot all along.
Yeah, it's just that in Dangerous Liaisons, that's the big high point of the story of these two characters finally being real with each other and saying this is what this has all been about. So it's like Cruel Intentions has to have that scene, but it doesn't seem like the story's actually been building to that. Is this whole thing has been about me destroying you,
right?
Whereas she's just doing that because she feels so spurned.
Yeah, that's how I read it. Okay, I didn't realize that that's a more obvious and hammered home and earned in the Dangerous Liaisons.
Yeah, and it's the best scene in that movie is those two doing that. But that's not what this podcast is about, is it, folks? So Sebastian is like, okay, I'm going to send Annette my prized journal, my immaculately decorated journal.
That seems to be about only 3 girls, but it's about all my conquests.
The Story of My Life by Sebastian, page 1. Annette. It's like, well, what?
I go in reverse order. I Tarantino this bitch.
Yeah. So now she knows everything. But as this is happening,
because Sarah Michelle Gellar, Catherine threatens and will keep threatening him that she's going to tell Annette what he's really like. So he knows the only thing he can do is to get in front of that. And he does. He sends her the journal and watches her read it through her window. And they don't actually come in contact. He's walks home after he watches her do that throughout the night. But in the meantime, Catherine has called Ron, the music teacher, who doesn't seem to care that much about her, but says, he hit me and he fucked Cecile. Now he's pissed. So now he's mad and he storms over to the only other apartment, I guess, in New York.
The only city block in New York. They run into each other.
Cross each other and they get in a tussle. But it's not that serious. You know, like he didn't set out to like kill the man, but because they're fighting near a busy street, violent games end violently, as I like to say. But also Annette is like, no, I'll fight. It's over me. And she runs. And then the tropiest trope of all the tropes happen where she gets thrown into the street. And as his last and final and proof that he actually did change, Sebastian jumps into the street and moves her.
And he dies.
And he dies. He dies of a bloody nose and a ripped shirt. Just hold on. And I never noticed, but the music teacher is there too, crouched down by him, and he's like, hold on, dude. I don't know. I was kind of touched by that too. It's like, yeah, no one meant to kill a guy. But they handle it in such a way that you can get over it so fast, because they smash cut to his memorial photo at what looks to be a funeral, but it's not. It's like the opening day of the new school year. So all the students are there and there's a big memorial photo, but they're going to have the sister say some words because she's, it's her brother.
And after that, the morning announcements.
Exactly. So that's what makes more sense. Like, his casket isn't there. Like, all of a sudden, all these kids are like getting up and whispering and running outside. And it's like, what in the actual fuck? This was my big, I'm going to get attention right now. My brother's dead and I want to talk. These are some fucking speed readers in Manchester.
Yeah, because they've made immaculate bound copies of his journal. Now everyone's reading them and like, oh, she uses cocaine?
She's got cruel intention? and it's nice, right? The 2 new girls, the 2 completely fucked over girls being Annette and Cecile, they together make these copies. So I like that. I like that now they have a friend. And so everyone reads his handwriting and pictures and immediately understands that Catherine bad.
No, this is like when the New York Times has a big investigative report and they need to have the accompanying podcast that sums it up. The TLDR. Here's what you're going to find out if you read Sebastian's journal. Bullet point 1, sister bad.
Point 2, to prove it, take cross out hand, open cross. Find drug.
What song, Laci, is playing throughout all of this?
90s? The 90s song? The 90s
Bittersweet
song?
Symphony.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of bittersweet, you know.
And
it is beautiful. It's perfect.
Roger Kumble says he wrote this scene with this song in mind, and this song is notoriously super expensive. It cost them $1 million. It was 10% of the movie's budget. But he said, we tried song after song and nothing fit. This song is notoriously expensive because the Rolling Stones own it. And I've always known that, but I never knew why. Because I've always heard Bittersweet Symphony samples the Rolling Stones. And for some reason, I never bothered to look up. Like, I can't hear that in my head.
Because the lyrics give out Keith Richards' social security number?
No, he's from England. They don't have those there. Okay. So it's a sample of the Rolling Stones The Last Time, a song I've heard a billion times, and I've heard Bittersweet Symphony a billion times, but I never made the connection. But there was apparently an orchestral cover in the 1960s of The Last Time that this orchestra did, and you can listen to it and you're like, oh my god, this is just Bittersweet Symphony,
right,
without added production. And then I went and listened to the actual Rolling Stones song The Last Time, and it was like I was Chaz Palminteri in The Usual Suspects. I dropped my cup of coffee, like, oh my god,
it's been there the whole time.
This is the song.
He doesn't even have a limp.
Well, I've told you once and I've told you twice. Oh my god, crazy,
and sexy, cool.
Catherine starts crying, and then Annette Reese Witherspoon triumphantly drives off in
his
Sebastian's
car.
Jaguar.
Well, what kind of will? Did he write his last will and testament in that journal? It's movie magic.
Yeah,
trick photography.
Rich people famously easygoing with successions.
Right? No, but that's definitely not a hand-me-down. He definitely did not win that car in some sort of blood sacrifice or whatever. So that's. Can I say that?
Yeah. Okay. And she is in her mind, she's like remembering all the fun time she had with Sebastian over the
3 days.
This truly was a whirlwind 3 days, but I really learned a lot, and on balance, kind of an interesting summer. So
not too bad. And I can still date Trevor.
Cruel Intentions.
He's coming home.
Trevor. Okay, it's time to select what the next episode will be.
Okay, but first, thank you all for entering. We got 35 movie suggestions. This is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun. And if you're listening to this and you're not following this on TikTok, in the future we'll do this again. Maybe we'll do the other social media apps, or just go follow us on TikTok. Although, well, hey, this is to celebrate the years of litigation that are about to happen over whether TikTok is allowed to exist.
Oh.
So that'll be fun. But
I didn't know we were celebrating.
Yeah, we'll do lots. We'll do more fun stuff like this. We I don't know. Maybe this will be a regular thing. Is spin the wheel,
spin the choice.
I made a letterbox list of all these movies, and I just got it pulled up for us now. Anything stand out to you as something you'd really like to cover, or something you'd really not like to cover?
Okay, well, after you told me all about The Room, I do want to see it just because I want to witness that shit, and I don't know if I'd ever watch it in any other context if I weren't forced. There are certain things on her that don't look quite like something I care to see. Did we not do Heathers?
No.
Okay. The other movies I've definitely seen. Others are already on my list. We would have gotten to them eventually, like While You Were Sleeping, and I think there was one other one. Heathers. Teen Wolf, and Teen Witch. Witch is definitely load-bearing beam. So top that. Beat that.
I'd love to watch Edge of Tomorrow again. I'd love to go back to Near Dark. Haven't seen it in a long time. Vampire movie. And Catherine Bigelow, director of Point Break.
She knows how to have fun.
Yeah, no. X-Men Days of Future Past. We just did an X-Men movie, so
Neo's trying to pull us into his web of X-Men because he's done 4. I don't know. I'd fuck with all of them.
Okay.
There's a cowboy hat on one of them.
That's Rustler's Rhapsody.
I don't know.
Bone Tomahawk is a very interesting movie with a very gross bisection of a man.
All right.
And
men are meant to be whole.
No, it's not what you want to have happen to your body.
You don't want to have happen.
Exactly. Are you ready to spin the wheel?
Let's spin the choice.
Okay.
Oh, wait. if a movie was entered twice by two different people, we did put it on the wheel twice. So Teen Wolf and Some Kind of Wonderful are on there 2 times.
Yep. And so if it lands on one of those, we'll just make both of those people submit a 30-second
Oh, that's a minute of
thing
content.
for why they picked it. Okay, we're going to spin the wheel.
Spinning
okay.
it. Spin the choice.
God.
Get it.
Here
oh,
it comes.
This is, hit the spinner.
Spin.
I think. Clicking.
Oh,
clicking.
listen to that. That is a satisfying...
Click, click. I do not like the pausing. This feels weird. Pick something. You spinning freak.
Howard the Duck. Oh, wow. Okay.
Good night, Irene.
Another comic book movie.
Kind of perfect, though, right? I feel like that is a quintessential load-bearing beam. It gets stuck for reasons understood.
Have you ever seen? I've
never seen it,
No.
and it just doesn't. But I love the person that suggested it, and so I will give it a college try. I just know it's very important to a lot of people, and it's known as like a bad movie, right? Or
Yeah.
like so bad it's good.
No, a lot of people stick up for it. I know it's
Yeah.
George Lucas produced it. George Lucas also produced movies like Willow in the 80s, just sort of one of his follies. But it was this was submitted to us by Smash Trivia John. Congratulations, John.
He's a lover of Hulk. All things Hulk. Hulk? The
Well,
Hulk.
that would make sense. Smash, Hulk smash. That's what we know about him, Hulk
Yeah,
smash.
Smash Trivia.
Thank you so much, everybody. We had fun.
Au revoir. Look at those tits. It's like the book, they saved the heaving bosom for the bad girl character, even though they both have an amazing rack. Reese has got quite the stack of titty. What are our final thoughts?
Well, what are your final thoughts?
How do you feel? Oh, I didn't do my review. God damn it. You need, every time I try to walk away from a movie without doing letterbox review, you need to be like, wife, get in the kitchen.
Yes, I know. My role is evolving into your personal just manager.
You'd suck at that.
Yeah, because you're mean.
That's not a good reason to suck. Look at Devil Wears Prada. She was great.
Yeah, I'm not Anne Hathaway. I can't rise to the occasion of a mean boss.
Which is exactly why I would never hire you to do this.
Yeah, but you're
you
trying.
You would suck. No, I'm
What?
trying to get it for free.
What What's your star rating? What are your final thoughts? What have you learned over this?
No, not yet.
I need to use the soundboard at least once a time per episode. What have I learned? I have learned that I liked this movie for very different reasons when I grew up with it, and I like it for new stuff now. And I was worried that I remembered it being cheesy, and what I actually didn't realize is that it was an intentional camp, turn it up and crank it up crazy performance that adults are supposed to enjoy too, because it's kind of like the inside joke. Like, teens and preteens are going to experience this as, no, this is exactly the kind of amount of mean and sad and sexy and hot and love. And all this is exactly how this happens. And then adults are like, that's a good impression of what teenagers think love is.
Star rating?
Oh, right. I'll give it a 4. I spit everywhere. I think a 4.
4 stars. So better than Evolution is what you're saying.
Jesus.
Wow. I
Please
think
play that at my funeral, Evolution, the whole movie. I love it so much.
I echo your opinion. I think this is a really good movie, a really fun time. I think it's really well directed. I think the 4 main performances are all really good. Kind of don't necessarily seem like they're in the same movie, but that's okay. And clearly this movie connected to a whole generation of people and continues to inspire them with its powerful message of...
Speaking of which,
Yes?
I did mean to say that our friend podcast, Fiction Fixation, is also releasing on this exact day an episode on Cruel Intentions, which is just wild. Complete coincidence. Please go listen to their episode too. It's a good companion.
We totally don't plan out these things and write them down in our journal and write Fiction Fixation how to destroy them.
Yes, this will be quite the ruse. Won't they be embarrassed?
3.5 stars. Solid movie.
all right.
Check it out, won't you? Okay, coming up next week, I will now cut to our later in this week recorded thing.
Howard the Duck.
Once again, people, tell a friend about our podcast, please.
Or a
And-
foe.
or a foe, or somebody, one of your worst enemies, someone new coming to your school, someone who's the daughter of the headmaster, but you never really do anything with that plot line. Just consider it. You feel like that should be a much bigger deal. She's the headmaster's daughter. Spotify and iTunes. We prefer iTunes or any other RSS-based podcast app, but Spotify, if you must, give us a review. Subscribe to us. Watch us on YouTube, Load Bearing Beams Pod. Follow me on Twitter at MattStokes9. Follow the show on Twitter at Load Bearing Pod. Follow us on Instagram at Load Bearing Beams. Go talk with Laci on TikTok at load.bearing.beams. I'm on Letterboxd at MattStokes9. Laci.
I'm on Letterboxd at Load-Bearing Laci.
Roll Route 9, we do the music for Load Bearing Beams, the theme song, the interstitial music, and we have an album that you can hear on Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere else you get your music. That's all I got. Thanks, everybody.
Great. Okay. I love you. Bye.
Three, four. Everybody, Load Bearing.